Hey, it's Janae, here to brighten and lighten and ignite your day. Congratulations, sprinters. You have just completed week 2 of our 6-week training plan on the power of integration. You are getting a quick start. We're in that first module of getting a quick start, going from power of intention to power of integration. How then, once we have these big visions, we have that number one goal, how do we integrate it into our lives? So as our summary, I wanted to share with you some of the key points around this in regards to an inspirational movie that I just saw with my family. It's a Disney movie. It's called The Queen of Kwate, and she is a Ugandan girl that was raised in the slums and has become this amazing chess player, and it's based on a true story. So I was super inspired to see this movie for 2 reasons. One, my boys love chess, and they're in a chess club at school. They started elementary level. In fact, my youngest 2 started in kindergarten after my older ones started, and they started to pick up on it. So they have chess ambitions, I guess you could say, at this age. And the second is because based on this movie, there's some exciting developments happening for another school in Rwanda wanting to fund a similar kind of program to happen there to maybe raise up another chess champion. And so I just had heard about that, and I just thought that that was incredible. And so what was this movie about? And I think it really talks a lot about the power of integration, okay? So kind of by mistake, this girl ended up, Fiona, she ended up finding out about this special chess club that was getting set up. Now, it started by a gentleman who was working in youth organization in Uganda, and he really came back because he was orphaned as a child, and he learned the game of chess, and that really helped him throughout his life. So he wanted to be able to give back to this community for those who didn't have the money and effort to live. So he really had, his values were aligned. We talked about, those values conflicts, but when they're aligned and you make time and priority for it, can make a big difference. So she found out about this, knew nothing about chess, she couldn't even read. And so slowly she started to learn the game, yet very quickly everybody realized that she was a natural and just tend to really pick up this game. And yet what was tough about this was then there was so much resistance for her and for their team, because when he would try to get into tournaments, there's a lot of resistance of bringing an underprivileged group to these schools, and chess was pretty elite there. But what was most important is just the integration then that this Fiona had, trying to live kind of 2 lives. One is what she would do in her home life is she would spend most of the day helping her mother, who was a single mother and had children, trying to help her and their family survive every day and sell food. So she would have to spend most of her time doing that, and yet was learning about this game of chess. And because she was getting so good at it, she was getting these opportunities to get to go to some tournaments, see places in her country and in fact around the world that she had never experienced, and eat food that she had never had. So what was extremely difficult then is having those experiences and seeing her dream and touching it, and then yet going back to the reality of her life and feeling like nothing has changed. And that's what you might be feeling a little bit, is this resistance of, okay, I have this goal, I'm making progress toward it, and yet I keep going back and I feel like nothing changes. I know that I feel that way often. It's like I do all this work, I work on my products, I work on my book, I put things out there, I network, and yet in the end, what's changed? And oftentimes I feel like I don't see enough tangible things to feel like things have changed. But just know that they are, and they're taking time, and at some point you never know when that significant breakthrough will happen, that God's favor and touch will be put on that, as Joel Osteen likes to say, that can significantly skyrocket what you've done. But we have to get past those shadows. And there was a lot of shadows that came up with the mother trying to support her daughter in this, and yet knowing what the reality of life was and how difficult it was to get out of there, and the shadows that she had, and the beliefs that she could really do this and be this smart that she was, but believe that she could have a different life than what she grew up with and that everything surrounded her with. So I don't want to spoil some of the details, but I really hope that you'll see it. There's nothing like an amazing true story of a young person and the struggles of others to really make a difference, and to know that it has significantly influenced some of the richest people around the world. This one specifically that wants to do something similar for another girl in Africa. So pretty amazing how our stories can make a difference and matter. We just need to keep pushing through and integrating the important things in our lives, and know that sometimes we have to put those other things on the back burner so that we can block the time and keep integrating it into our lives for what truly matters most. Okay, so we are officially checking off week number 2, and now we're ready to transition into week number 3, the get set piece. Now this is where we've spent a lot of time thinking about it, integrating it. Now, through the power of attention, we're gonna get set so we can start going. So from my heart to yours, be love.